What's going on, you guys, and welcome to Pittsboro, North Carolina, where we're going to be driving a ton of very cool BMWs, starting with this 1974 BMW 2002 Tii. Never driven even a base 2002, but this Tii is the high-performance fuel-injected version, so super excited. Humberto, the owner of this car, mentioned he swapped in a 5-speed from a 320i. The original came with a dogleg 4-speed. This car has a 2-liter fuel-injected inline 4-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated. There was a later turbo model, but this one makes around 125 to 130 horsepower and around the same in foot-pounds of torque. It weighs around 2,200 pounds, manual steering. Oh my god, this thing is just absolutely minty fresh. Humberto has clearly done a great job restoring it and keeping it in great condition. Love this wooden steering wheel, very thin rim, large diameter, 3-spoke, wouldn't have it any other way, very period correct. Look at this gauge cluster, it's so simple. Tach on the right, speedo in the middle, and then your fuel and engine temperature gauges on the left. Very cool BMW clock. It is just so clean. Floor mounted pedals, all 3. Huge amount of glass. The visibility in this car is, well, let's just say that this was an era when safety standards were far from what they are today. Humberto also mentioned this has the Euro bumpers. He swapped those on, and he added a limited slip differential. So with that, let's take this thing for a drive. Fuel injected, so it should start up without a problem. Beautiful. And away we go. This clutch pedal has a very long throw, and the way it pivots, because it is floor mounted, not like your modern manual transmission, that's for sure. We've got a very beautiful but not particularly technical road ahead of us. More long sweepers instead of the usual hairpins that I'm used to. What a comfortable little car. Seating position, a little high, a little upright, but overall, all the controls fall to hand very well. Plenty of headroom here. Visibility is incredible. Very low sills compared to modern cars, and of course that's due to safety standards. Into 5th gear. Rev matching is a cinch. Unassisted steering, but it's actually very light. Now, I don't think this speedometer is accurate. It says we're going way faster than we actually are. Wow, what an experience. I feel like I've just traveled in a time machine back to the early 70s, over 50 years ago. The original 2002, of course, was designed in the early 60s, and the 02 means 2-door coupe. Technically, this car is the predecessor to the BMW 3 Series, the E21, and then later E30, 36, 46, so on and so forth, which we'll be driving in just a moment. But it's very refreshing to be able to get into the first generation of BMW Sport Compact Coupe and just experience it for what it is. It's not a hardcore sports car. It feels very softly sprung. You feel the car move around underneath you, and that's what you want in an older car like this. The limits aren't high, but you just feel so much of what's going on. The car telegraphs its movements. That's flat out. Not sure if you can hear anything I'm saying right now. Being the Tii fuel-injected model, this makes quite a bit more power than the base 2002, which I believe is under 100 horsepower. The throws on this 5-speed manual are hilariously long. And because the shifter is floor-mounted very low, I do feel like I'm kind of shooting from the hip, if you will. Look at that, so much body roll, but I love it. The steering loads up nicely in the corners. Pretty good feedback about what the front tires are doing. What a little car. Brakes are, well, they're 1972 brakes, I'll put it that way. Not especially confidence-inspiring, but at least the car is very light, 2,200 pounds. You don't very big brakes at all. In fact, we're on 13-inch wheels and tires. They're the sport wheels. So you can only imagine how small those brakes are. That's flat out in 4th gear. You know, I have mixed feelings about these older glossy rim steering wheels. They look so cool, but if you have sweaty palms like me, very hard to actually hold on to the wheel. 3rd gear here. There we go. Now apparently back in the 70s, this car was considered pretty quick. Obviously not so much today, but the car makes you feel like you're going quickly because you sit so low. You have such good visibility out the front. The sensation of speed is much greater than the speed itself. Wow, we got a major air leak here at the window. Not sure if you can hear anything I'm saying. I think the most impressive part of this car's driving dynamics for me has got to be the suspension. It's handling the bumps on this road so well. Many modern cars, especially performance cars, could take a leaf from the 2002 Tii's book. I mean, yes, this thing feels softly sprung, but unless you're looking for a car that is razor sharp and handles really well at the limit, my preference is a slightly softer suspension setup. That's why I actually don't mind the suspension in something like the ND2 Miata. It leans, it rolls, it pitches, and that's part of the charm. It tells you what it's doing at all times. What a little machine. Whoop. No ABS. Gotta remember, we're dealing with 70s technology here. Incredible. All right, let's flip a U-ey, head back the other way, and get into some much more powerful machinery, like that E30 M3 just behind us, piloted by Kevin from the Jabol & Cars YouTube channel. There we go. That is flat out. Red line looks to be 6,400. We're shifting at around 5,500. There's really not much of a top end beyond that. The engine actually seems to prefer being in that mid-range, around 3,500 to 5,000 seems to be the sweet spot here. Look at the way it handled that bump in the road. There are many modern cars, including M cars, that can't do that nearly as well. With the move to huge wheels, I mean, some of the cars nowadays have 22-inch wheels on a 30 profile tire. That's just so little sidewall to work with. That's why you have so little compliance. This car is a lesson that maybe the way we did things back in the day is actually better in some ways. I still just love how long these throws are, as well as the clutch pedal, the brake pedal, the gas even. Everything just doesn't want to be rushed. It's a sign of the times nowadays that everything is so immediate. Throttle response is like an on-off switch. Clutch travel is half of what this one's is. Everyone's just always in a rush nowadays. E30 M3, almost double the power of this little 02 Tii. This car does feel a little nervous in the corners. You gotta remember, low grip tires, lots of body roll. You need to plan your corner entry. Unlike modern cars where you can just turn in way too late and still somehow stay on your intended path. There's no way we're catching up to Kevin. We're flat out here. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely a time capsule. And this is more or less where it started. This is why the 3 Series is such a popular car nowadays. They're ubiquitous. You see them everywhere. You see more of those than Mercedes C-Classes or Audi A4s. It's because BMW got the formula right from the start. Compact package, driver-focused inputs, direct steering, rear-wheel drive, the way a proper sports car should be. This 2002 Tii is a testament to this entire segment of cars that we take for granted nowadays. The luxury sport compact coupe or sedan. The car that you can drive on a daily basis with good comfort, but still have a good time with on a back road like we just did. Absolutely love this car. This is right up there with the Porsche 912 that I reviewed quite a while ago. In fact, I would say this is more fun because it's both easier to drive from an ergonomic standpoint. The brakes in this, while still being unassisted, feel far better than the ones in the 912. I need to get behind the wheel of a classic original 911 and see how that compares, but this might be my favorite early 70s car that I've ever driven. This gives the Datsun 240Z a run for its money in terms of fun factor and just the nostalgia factor. So a big shout out to Humberto for letting me review this 2002 Tii. What a fantastic little car, mint condition, and I'm just glad I'm able to bring it back to him in one piece here. All right guys, let me know what you think of the 2002 Tii. What 1970s cars are even more fun to drive than this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.